We're going to take a very quick look at graphing functions. When we talk about polynomials, such as quadratics, as we have listed down here, we will notice that we can predict the end behavior. To do that, we look at our lead coefficient, and in this problem, our lead coefficient would be 4, and 4 is a positive, and our degree is 2, our largest exponent, so we have a positive even, so we know that our end behavior is going to be up and up. So when we look at the graph of that, we start high, and we end high, up and up. Now if we had the exact same problem, but with a negative out in front, we'll notice that when we have a negative even, our end behavior is down and down, so it should be a parabola that's upside down. And sure enough, it is. One thing I want to point out about these is the y-intercept. Remember, to find the y-intercept, we substitute 0 in for all the x's, so this term would be gone, this would be gone, and we would just have a -2 for our y-intercept. Same thing here, that would be 0, that would be 0, and -2 would be our y-intercept. So if we can remember just our end behavior and finding our y-intercepts, we'll be in very good shape for this study island. Now I have almost the exact same problems, but they are cubic. So we look at the 4x cubed and we ignore all the rest of it. That just gives us different curves and swerves. We have a positive 4 with an odd 3 for our exponent. So positive, odd, means our end behavior starts down and ends up. So when we look at that, we start down, and as we go along, we end up. And again, even though I changed the exponent, our y-intercept is still -2, because all of the x's would become zeros and all that's left is -2. On the problem right next door, same thing, only I put a negative on front. So we notice if we have a negative with an odd degree, our end behavior is up and down. And sure enough, that's what we get here, up and then down. A couple graphing reminders. When we have this little turnaround here, these two turning points, this first one is a minimum, a local minimum, or a relative minimum. We have our y-intercept at -2, and then we have our relative maximum. So anytime we have any kind of polynomials, just remember the chart. What's newer to us are when we graph square roots and cube roots. Anytime we have even roots, like a square root of x or a fourth root of x, they always have the same general shape. They are only in the first quadrant, because remember, when we take the square roots of numbers, if they're negative, they're imaginary, and we can't graph imaginary numbers. So even roots are always like half of a parabola and just going off to the right. Odd, oh, one more thing. When the index gets bigger, the graph actually gets flatter. Because we'll notice here that, say at 10, we're up about 3.1. And down here, when x is 10, we're not even up to 2. Again, the bigger the index, the flatter the square root curve. When we have odd roots, it's like a double answer compared to above, because we have negative odd roots and positive odd roots. And they always run sideways as compared to our cubic equations. Like these, I kind of consider them running up and down. But when we get to our odd roots, they're still down and up, but they're kind of hugging the x-axis instead. And again, when we go from a cube root to a fifth root, our graph gets flatter. Don't be fooled by the fatness of the line, because here, if we look at like when x is 8, y is 2, and in the fifth root, when x is 8, y is less than 2, so it's getting flatter. The next thing I want to look at are exponential functions. Those are when x is in the exponent. So when x is in the exponent, then we're going to have a nice graph headed uphill. And when that exponent happens to be negative, then we have decay and it's coming downhill. Another kind of graph that will make us have a downhill is when we have a graph like y equals 0.3 to the negative x. Give me 1 second to get that in there. Oh, it could just be positive x. Sorry about that. Okay. And the reason it works if this number is a decimal is because if you think about what a negative means, it means 1 over 3 to the x, and that would give us a decimal number, 1 over 3.3, and then to the x. And finally, we have to deal with linear equations. Remember, slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b always plays a part. In this study island, we are going to be asked, the line above goes through 2 points. What's the equation of the line? And even if it doesn't give us a graph, I would recommend graphing it really quick, just on notebook paper or graph paper. And remember, the b is our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is right here at negative 1.5. So our answers aren't A or B. I'm going to scribble those out. And then our slope is negative. It's headed downhill. And to calculate the slope, I want to find 2 nice coordinates here in green where our graph crosses on a grid mark. And I notice if I count my slope, I go down 1 and right 2. A slope of down 1, right 2 is negative 1/2. And remember, you always start counting at the point that's furthest left on the graph, not up, down, but left. Good luck on this study island.